You'll be able to see it. No problem.
Okay.
Okay, we're online on
Okay.
the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 platforms. We're online. We're ready to go. Let me go back over here.
Okay.
I'm going to play the intro and allow people time to come in. And when Lavelle comes in, I'll just click the screen and we'll get him on there if he shows up. Hang on, let me get this right. Give people a little time to come in. All right. And if Lavelle doesn't show up, we'll just have a divine goddess meeting. How about that?
There it is.
All right, here we go. I'm going to get off the screen, but I'll be up. He hasn't come in, but if he comes in, I'll put him in. And I'm going to take myself off the screen, and but I'll be able to hear you, and I'll be here. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
We, the light workers, in perfect joy, quietly expand unconditional love. Spin now ever so gently as you warm yourself. For we, the light workers, are back from eons of time behind and ahead. May love, laughter, and tears of joy reign now and forevermore upon your face. And so be it. And so be it. And so be it. Thank you. Oh, Mother, my tears fall on your face. I just remembered. We, the light workers, have returned to spread our web of love around you. From distant stars and galaxies, from lives past, present, and future, we come to guide your healing. We, the light workers, one soul to another, touch the hearts of many each day. With each recognition, we laugh, smile, and cry. Our love is abundant, flowing, and shimmering. Invocation to the light and prayer to Mother Earth. I live within the light and I love within the light. I laugh within the light. I am sustained and nourished by the light. I joyously serve the light, for I am light. I am light. I am light. I am that I am in all I do.
That was beautiful.
Can
Amen.
Oh wait, Sandra, you need to unmute. Sandra, I don't think you're in it. Jamie, are you prepared to handle this on your own?
Oh,
There's a lot of energy here. Let me pop back on. Here we go. Hang on. We got some other people. Hang on. Divine Lady, start the video. Sandra, how's your video working out? Sandra?
she's still muted.
Oh, she's muted. Sandra, unmute yourself. Hit the microphone icon on the
There's
bottom
quite
left.
a bit of energy in here. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
Mine's keep shifting too, so
there
we
go.
need to Ho'oponopono on this here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay, so Sandra, your mic's on now, right? Can you say something? Sandra? I think Katina, I think that Sandra's signal is really, really bad. So
Okay.
you might have to just take it away. I can
Yeah,
hang.
I'm kind of going in and out too.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
right on. Are we
maybe-
right on?
I'll tell you what, maybe I'll just pop back in just in
I
case.
see you guys,
I'll
but
just
you're
pop
moving
in.
kind of slow.
Oh, wait a minute. We got, I think Lavelle's here. Or Mary is here. No, that's somebody that's viewing on Zoom. All right. It looks like Divine Lady and Sandra are having some serious issues.
It's crazy.
It's just the energy. It's just the energy. But I'll hang here for at least for a little bit.
I'm gonna change location, see what
Okay.
happens.
Okay, Katina. And then turn your video back on. Sandra, it's all yours. It's all yours, Sandra. I think her signal's way too low.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Katina, you just muted yourself.
Unmute.
Okay. It's all good. You're muted.
I'm gonna see if I'm gonna change
There you
location.
go. You're good.
See if
You're
that
good.
helps out.
You're good.
Yeah,
Sandra's,
it keeps going.
Sandra's popped off, so I'll keep an eye out for her. I'll just
Yeah.
hang with y'all just in case there's issues, and if it starts to work out, I'll just pop out.
Okay.
Sandra,
You said
Sandra,
Lavelle's here?
what's that? What's that?
Lavelle's here?
No, he's not here. Sandra, you're back, but you're muted again. You're muted. Sandra, make sure that you shut all your windows off, not minimize, but cut them off to only where Zoom is open, because your signal's very weak and you're muted if you can hear us. I think Katina, what's that? I'm sorry.
I'm
Go
sending
ahead.
her a text message and let her know it's muted. See if she can get
Yeah.
that.
Well, I think what's happening is her signal's too slow and she's not seeing what you're seeing. She's not even seeing videos
I
of you.
unmuted.
Yeah,
So,
you got it.
Katina, I think you are one of the hostesses.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I am.
I think you're going to have to just take it
Yeah.
over, and I'll hang here with you and just see what happens, just in case anything goes wrong. She just popped out again. So go ahead,
Wow.
Katina. Katina, it's all on you. No pressure.
Yeah, thanks. Wholeness and harmonious vibrations. I'm Divine Lady Ninherzog, and we're just having a few technical difficulties here, but our dear Umi will be, it looks like she just came on. Umi, can you hear us? Umi, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you all.
Okay, we can see you. Great.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Can you
Okay.
take? Mhm.
Okay, somebody has their. Okay, there you go. Somebody has their. Somebody
Yes.
has Facebook on. Mute it. Mute it.
Yes. Well, let's fade out. If I fade out, Katina, you got it. You got this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sandra,
Yeah.
turn off the device that you're watching this with. You've got your Facebook on
Oh, okay.
and your Zoom. Yeah, turn it off.
Okay. I turned it off.
Okay, there you go.
I
You're
turned
good.
it off.
All right, y'all
Okay.
roll.
So we
All right.
ready?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if I fade out, Katina, you get it. Is Jamie there and is Lavelle there?
No, just Jamie and Katina and you. And I'm in the background. I'm taking my video off. Anything happens, I'll pop back in.
Okay. Live. Let's do this. We're gonna just do it and work with what we got because it's gonna be all right. Okay. Welcome everybody to Shifting into 5D New Earth Frequency. I hope you guys enjoyed that beautiful introduction. That is the introduction prayer from a book called The Prayer of the Sacred Flames. And the book is authored by Aurelia Jones. It's a beautiful book and it's very, very energizing. And for those that are going through the ascension process, I think that a lot of information in this book can really, really elevate you. So I'm your host, Sandra Mathis. I'm sorry about a lot of the interruptions and everything, but it's so much energy flowing through here until that's basically what's happening. And I also have to get a stronger your host, little myself. I am an ascending sovereign spiritual being, human experience, and so are you. Into my awakening around 1996 to expand very quickly on up to 2012 when things really, really got wild for me. I'm the mother of 4 adult spiritual masters, mother of 2 newborn star seeds. My experience here, besides being a mother and a granny, I've been a teacher, a speaker, a healer, a priestess, a tribal leader, you name it. I've done many, many things and won many titles, only to realize that that's exactly what they are, titles. They're exactly schools that you go through to advance yourself closer to desired goal in the ascension process that's, believe it or not, already encoded in our DNA. So you'll find that I'm very real and raw. Don't hide anything. I don't try to be something that I'm not. I'm just, what you see is what you get.
That's right.
So with that respect, ask that the questions that you type in be respectful to us and everything, which I'm sure you will be. Share the link with others. Hi, Katina. Share the link with others, and I'll be grateful for that. We're delighted to bring you an easy and open way by which you can ask questions and simply make comments on whatever it is that you desire. Everybody is going through a major, major shift. Not only the planet, the universe are shifting further and further into a higher frequency, a more open consciousness toward 0 point source. Mm-hmm. The idea for creating the show was so that we could share with the people all over the world information that we have come into contact with, that we've actually experienced ourselves, that will raise your vibrational frequency, because that's what's happening. It's a process called ascension. Mm-hmm. And you have chosen a path, or else you probably would not be attuned into the. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Congratulations. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ask you yourself, do you feel stuck? Are you afraid? What are you afraid of? Are you unsure, just confused about a lot of things? Are you confused about what's happening to you? I was. So this streaming is approximately about an hour, a little better than an hour. So you can get, so you can start asking questions that you need to try to assist you. We have asked people, spiritual masters, to come onto the panel, on the platform, answer your questions to the best of our abilities, so that will help to guide you along. Now, my platform guest tonight, or my co-host is Sister Nin Hersak, Lady Nin Hersak. Yeah.
Hi, Omi, can you hear me?
So,
okay? Yeah.
And my connection is just kind of slow. I know Todd's going to beat me up about that, but and then my other platform guest is one of my dear, dear friends, Jamie Williams. And she is a very extremely high vibration sister as well. And so do not be deceived by the look. She's gorgeous, but that is a powerful sister. And I
thank you.
So while we're kind of waiting on the little of our streaming, I'm going to ask that you go ahead and start typing in your questions. whatever Zoom, just go ahead and type in your questions, and we'll do the best of our ability to answer those questions during the time that we do have. So now, back to our platform guests. We were supposed to have Lavelle Zimmerman, and I'm sure he will chime in probably later. He's way in Germany, and it's like about 2 o'clock in the morning there. So he is very excited to join us and everything, and he'll be coming in later on. So I'm going to yield the floor over to Katina and let Katina start off by telling us a little about her and a little bit about her journey and how she actually got to this point. She is my co-host. She's addressed by Lady Ninhursag, Katina Elliott.
Okay. Wholeness and harmonious vibrations. Hello, divine beings. I'm Divine Lady Ninhursag, your sister of a distant moon, and I am so happy to be here. There's a lot of energy here, a lot of positive energy, and it just feels absolutely amazing. I started this journey consciously, pursuing the journey, knowing I was on the divine path in 2006. And it's really funny because my sisters, two of my sisters and myself, we used to have conspiracy theory Sundays where we used to watch all these underground videos and, just trying to grasp at whatever knowledge we could seek and we could find. So 2006 was really like the turning point for me. And I think that was the same with a lot of other people that are consciously on the journey and seeking enlightenment and ascension and just seeking truth. That was my whole goal. I didn't know anything about ascension. I never had heard that word ever before. I think I only heard that word maybe in 2012 or something. But in 2006, I just knew I was a truth seeker and I wanted to know the truth. That's pretty much all it was. I know I didn't have the truth. I was on the path for the truth, and that was my main goal. I was going to get to the bottom of it. All by myself. So, and then my sisters, of course, but then I kind of branched out and I continue on the path really, really strenuously, just really trying to just seeking as much knowledge as I could. At that time, I was a mother of 3. I'm still a mother of 3, but now I'm a grandmother of 4. So our little tribe is growing over here. So I have two granddaughters and 2 grandsons, 2 grandboys, amazing divine beings that have come onto the planet. It's just amazing to watch them grow daily. Also, I am a practicing Christian witch. And so that may be surprising to some because they want to know, how can you be a Christian and a witch at the same time? Well, in my community, we say, how can you be a Christian and not be a witch? So it's an amazing journey. I didn't even know there was a such thing. I didn't even know I was a witch, but I was born a witch, a mage, a magical being. And a lot of us are. A lot of us are magical beings. So that's a little bit about me. So I'll pass it over to our beautiful sister, Jamie. Look at her. She's so amazing, so young, so beautiful. So it's so awesome to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, beautiful.
Well, thank you both. It is so amazing to be here amongst 2 wonderful, beautiful, divine women. I talk to Miss Umi all the time, and she is extremely extraordinary. I knew that you, divine lady, were divine just from your resonance, from the way you radiated, and I hadn't even really spoken with you. So I'm so excited to be on this platform with both of you. A little bit about myself. I actually began the path around 2012, but I realized after that I've actually been on the path my whole lifetime, this whole lifetime, and I'm one of those that actually I go back and have been able to tap into several lifetimes. So it's been a journey. But in this particular lifetime, it's been about 2012, and a lot of events that came and that shook my world apart. And I think that happened to a lot of people because there was a grand shift. There was a grand shaking and awakening in a lot of people. And so that's when mine really began. And I started that truth seeking, and, I started in a lot of different ways with the truth seeking. And so, once the student is ready, the teachers appear. And as I was ready, things came. But it was 2017 when there's another huge shift happened. And I began to see some extraordinary things that were off planet. And so that's a whole nother story, but that began my more seeing into higher dimensions. And by 2018, I was approached by ascended masters, and ascended masters are beings that actually ascended. They've been on the planet before. And so like you would think Jesus Christ would be an ascended master because he was here, walked the earth and ascended. And so I was approached by these beings. And I initiate an initiative of those for the last couple of years here. And so that is where a lot of my path has come into. They've showed me so much, and that's what I'm ready to share with the world.
Amen. Amen. Welcome, sister. I'm so elated to have you here. Thank you for your presence.
I'm so grateful to be here.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I'm so honored. I mean, you can tell that there's a lot of energy that
Let's see.
It's muted again.
Umi, you're muted. Can you hear us? Okay, great.
Okay, yeah. I can hear you. We usually tell our audience to go ahead on and start typing their questions in. And then sometimes Todd will the questions are, since my internet my internet connection is somewhat weak, but it's okay. We usually get to where they're answered. So did Lavelle make it yet? Until we can get some of the questions typed in, we're going to go ahead on make a, kind of like a chit chat on some questions that I usually ask the platform guests, to our audience to really thinking about what it is that they really want to ask, or just kind of fireside chat. So the first they ask is, how important is it for us to shift into the new earth frequency? And either of you sisters can take that on as a challenge and break down what the new earth frequency, 5D frequency, is all about. Give us a little bit of insight on what does it mean for the new earth frequency we're talking about. Is it a new cycle, or are we coming into one cycle, or a new age, or some refer to it as the new golden age? So we can get a little more insight. Do either one of you want to take that on as a challenge? The floor is open.
Okay. Jamie, would you like, since you're our honored guest?
Sure. The first thing I heard you say is, what is the 5D frequency? You were a little broken up, so I'm thinking that you said that what is that? For me, the fifth dimensional frequency is the Christed frequency.
Yeah.
It is definitely a new dimension, which the dimension is already there, but we're here in 3rd D, and some of us are between 3D, 3rd dimension, 4th dimension, and we are attempting to ascend into that 5th dimension and beyond. But at this point, we are attempting to ascend into the new Christ consciousness that's available and ready for us to take hold of now. As far as I think it is, what were you saying? Broke up. Okay. So as far as
Did she go? There she is.
okay. So
Yeah.
that's what the 5D frequency is the Christ consciousness. I think it's very important for us to take hold of that and to elevate into that frequency, because that's why I believe that we're all here. We're here for that particular elevation at this hour. We all came to the planet. We came to the planet, and this is a school room, and we came to this planet in order to ascend into that Christ consciousness. And so it is very important for us all to take hold of that and to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
So we have a question that's being put forward. Go ahead.
I was saying that I absolutely agree 100% what our sister has stated. This is a time that we've all decided to be here, because if you didn't decide to be here, you wouldn't be here right now. Right. So your soul decided that this is the time that you wanted to be here, and that you wanted to be here to witness this great shift into the next stage of our Earth's evolution. And that's going into the golden age, the Aquarian age, shifting into 5D consciousness, the Christ consciousness. So as a practicing Christian witch, okay, you know, everyone's waiting for Christ, but the Christ consciousness is here. It's here and it's in your heart, and we're feeling it coming. We're shifting into that age where that beautiful Christ consciousness is becoming awake. Now we are experiencing some very interesting happenings, but that is a part of the awakening. So never fear, just, you know, go into it easy.
Did I lose everybody? Hello?
No, we're here. We can hear you.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Uh-oh.
We did lose her that time.
Yeah, we did lose her that time. But yeah, just to continue on until she comes back on with what we're currently discussing is, it's very important for everyone to shift and to not be afraid, and to go on this experience with an open, loving heart of divine unconditional love, and just take on these experiences, because as our sister Jamie stated, this is a classroom, and you agreed to be here in this classroom and to shift into this new experience of 5D and the new earth. Yes, Jamie?
I'm here.
Yeah. No, I just didn't know if you wanted to continue to elaborate on that even further until our sister comes back.
Well, I agree with what you're saying about to have no fear. And though there's a lot of fear amongst the planet right now, because these energies are, you know, very high energy. And you have a lot of people who are seeing a lot of these things taking place, and it seems catastrophic to people. It seems it's different. And with that being said, with this difference taking place, that is causing a lot of fear in a lot of the population that does not fully comprehend what is going on. There's nothing to fear. This is why we're all here. We came here to the planet for this moment. It's a very beautiful moment, and we all here can attest to that. It is. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a very beautiful experience.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We're experiencing the birthing pains. Yeah, these are the birthing pains of a birthing of the new earth. And you know, you go into labor first, so we're experiencing the labor pains.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And we know that pregnancy, you know, is a beautiful thing, because we know what's going to be on the other side. It's going to be a beautiful life, a beautiful experience on the other side. So yes, it's very important for us to hunker down and be aware, be in the now moment, right? And be aware of all that's going on in consciousness. Hi, Lavelle.
Hello, hello, hello,
Now,
all.
hey, Lavelle.
Absolutely. A great honor to be here, as always.
Yes, yes. That male energy that'll do it every
I was
time.
thinking the same thing, Umi. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe he can balance us out here.
Yeah.
You all sound really, you all sound pretty balanced to me already.
He's so sweet, isn't he, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lavelle, you can introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to get back to the Christ consciousness conversation and give some tips on how we can attain that Christ consciousness. How do we start Christ consciousness? What it is, you know?
Awesome. Awesome indeed. Great honor to be here. Named Lavelle Zimmerman, representing an incarnate of Commander Ashtar, the Syrian representative of that particular energy. Always been doing this work and continuing to express and open the heart for close to 10 years already actively. However, once again, truly an honor to be here and share this space with you all. So thank you for having me.
Welcome.
You're quite welcome. Yes. Were you going to expound on the Christ consciousness? We do have another question that needs to be addressed to the platform, but I think her name was Emily that asked about the Christ consciousness and how do you get it? How do you attain that?
Understood. Well, as expressed before, it is a frequency of being that exists within all of us, a natural aspect of our evolution as a species. Nothing specific to humanity. However, a true elevation and frequency, a step up, if you will, from the third to fourth to fifth dimensional frequency, allowing us to expand and exist within that frequency band or range at a capacity where we're truly conscious of the self beyond some of the limitations that exist within this frequency range of being. However, something truly natural. And I mean, once again, I can expand on it to a certain extent. It's just that the true depth of such an experience is truly experienced versus, defined by, any particular description, if you will. So once again, it is a natural aspect of our being and a recognition of our oneness. However, the first step in the ever expanding process of evolution.
Okay, that's what's up. Awesome. Okay. Emily's got in big words. That wasn't my question. What is Christ consciousness? And hopefully we answered in between, comments, a satisfactory answer for her. And if Emily, I see that you're still on here. Katina, can you see the questions as well? We have another that the name Karubas, and they've written quite a bit on here. So I'm going to read it and see if any of it resonates with you. It says, hello, ladies, I have a question. I hear of a shift occurring. What is that supposed to look like? As light workers, do any of you feel it's important to vote? The current administration has brought to light the darkness that have been hidden for hundreds of years. Many believe the current president to be a light worker. It's important to stay on track with dismantling the system so we can usher in the new earth. So he has a compilation of questions here. The first one is, he says, I hear of a shift occurring. What is it supposed to look like? Does anyone want to address that? that particular statement?
It looks like what you're experiencing. As Umi said earlier, she's pretty, to the nitty gritty. I'm pretty to the nitty gritty too. I think a lot of times in life we make things a little harder than what it is. It's what you're experiencing right now here in this dimension. What we're experiencing with the turbulent times, with the things that are going on within government and the deep state and all those things that are going on. I'm kind of a conspiracy. I can really go there, but I find that that's not helpful to me. To keep my vibration high, I have to limit how much I take in of these things because they will lower your vibration. We're moving to a higher state of consciousness and a higher vibration, and those things will take care of themselves. That's where I stand with that. They'll take care of themselves. And yeah, that's where I'm at with that. They take care of themselves. You have to.
Well, another thing I want to.
Uh-oh. Have we lost her again?
One is going to be walking that says, hey, this is what 5D looks like. It's a situation where you're changing your consciousness and realize that you're the creator of whatever it is that's occurring. There's enough people on the planet that are vibrating high enough in order for our reality to shift from one dimension or state of consciousness to another. The old 3D consciousness it's fading out, and what I'm not sure how to say what it looks like. We're going into another phase to where you actually look different on light bodies. We're putting on light bodies, Christ consciousness, like Jamie talked about earlier. So you're naturally gonna look different. It's not gonna change overnight. But I mean, this process has been going on for several years. And if you look around at even the way some of the stores are set up, some of the things that you started to like, some of the products that you're beginning to purchase in the stores, the way you dress, the way you talk to your children, the way people look, that is what actually it looks like. It's a change. 70s, we dressed differently. 1980s, we dressed differently. 1990s, we had different music. And these are the signs that you can, these are the things that you can tell that we're shifting into another. So I here again, I'll say, I'm not sure that it's supposed to look like people said, hey, guess what? We're in 5D now. It's not going to happen that way. You've got signs like hurricanes and tornadoes, the weather patterns. You've got things that have come up on the planet like viruses or, attempted planetary world shutdown. Think that lets you know that we are shifting into another thought process, another part of our consciousness. So if anybody wants to address part of that,
wow. So from my perspective, as we know, with all change, there's turmoil. There's there's the unknown. There's extremes in opinion, emotion. Now, as far as, and here's my angle, I feel it's more important, or at least the basis of the change, it sits on the question of what it feels like, because what it feels like turns into the actual physical manifestation of those feelings. As far as the feeling, there is a bit of confusion, but once again, it's like a trip into the unknown. There's a sense of unclarity and things that have never happened before. And this is something that kind of spans across the spectrum of humanity now, politically. And I kind of sense the hint in that direction as far as the question is concerned. You're right, lady, in saying that the more you go into the details and specifics of individuals and choices, the more confused you get. I just had this conversation earlier. The idea is, or the choice is, love or fear. Us sitting on this, regardless of who is in whatever place on a political platform or a religious platform or financial or any level of existence, when it comes to socially or aspects of the illusion, when we make choices based on that particular frequency, when it comes to love or fear, all of the other aspects of our reality fall into place naturally. Now, if a person does feel drawn into participating in voting and making choices, so be it. Once again, it's our it's a part of our existence to be proactive and participants in the experience. However, to feel like the political spectrum is a basis of where we are spiritually, once again, this is where it gets confused, because the devil's in the details. Take a step back and make choices and be open, where the basic two is in being open, or choosing unity versus separation, and love versus fear. And this is where we can allow ourselves to see from the bigger plane of existence and trust ourselves beyond having to make any specific choices at that particular level when it comes to politics. Regardless of where we are, as long as we make choices with our heart and we trust life, the intelligence of life, we will realize that we didn't come 26,000 years to experience the same old, where things are changing and we are experiencing the evolution. And when we open our hearts and trust what's taking place, we can let go of focusing too much on the details of what's happening, because we know that life is intelligent and things are happening exactly how it's supposed to happen.
That's right.
That's
Life
beautiful.
always points the way. Yes. Jamie?
I was just saying, as far as from my perspective and what's happening on my journey, the changes that occur within myself, that's when I see the changes on the outside. It's according to what happens on the inside. But we are going through personal, and there is planetary changes that's of course happening as well, because we are here as a collective consciousness. So there are earth changes that are going to happen as well. So that's that's very complex. But the biggest thing is the inside. And so once you begin to do your inner work, the outside absolutely changes, and that's just that's my perception, my perspective of it.
Absolutely.
As far as the political part of it, I'll tell you, and I don't have any problem saying this, that's not my lane anymore. As I became, as I grew more into the ascension process and just expanding my consciousness and my awareness and understanding that we're co-creating, and what we're experiencing is, like Jamie said, a collective effort. So if you want things to change, then it starts with the man in the mirror, as we know. So by going within and making those necessary changes, just being more aware, being more loving, being more compassionate for your fellow co-creators, those are the things that changes what we experience here in this realm. So I'm not voting. I'm just gonna tell you, That's not what I do. I used to do it. And then I realized that these are two wings on the same bird. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing this game. Okay. So we have to understand that what we're experiencing is nothing new. This has happened before. There's nothing new under a sun.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I justify not getting involved is because I know the government is not my source. God is my source.
That's right.
That is where my source, that's where all of my strength comes from, is source. So it doesn't matter who's in the White House, because I know as a co-creator, I create my existence. And that gets a little bit more deep and what have you, but I mean, I'm just being real with you. I used to I talked to a guy today and he's like, oh, I keep on MSNBC all day long. And the guy's on depression pills. Like, turn it off. Stop consuming all of this. This is what he told me. And I told him, turn off TV. It's really that simple. I have a TV. I barely turn it on. Unless I'm watching Netflix or something nice and magical or witchy. But yeah, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but at some point during my journey, I realized that that's not where my strength and my source, that's not where my source comes from. So I made a change within me.
Okay, we have another question that's presented to the platform that says, as co-creator, is it safe to say that we created Donald Trump as president?
Yes, you did.
Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, without a doubt, and admit it or not, whether we want to admit it or not, we created everything that you see taking place.
Mm-hmm.
My audio is kind of being challenged right now, so I'm going to let the platform, I'm going to allow Jamie and Lavelle also, and you all to, my signal is a little weak, but we do need to address how all of this was created. Where did it come from, and why?
Jamie, if you like, the floor is open. I'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
Where did it all come from? Again, we already spoke about this as a collective consciousness. And so that basically, it came from within each and every one of us collectively together. And so we all did create it. I think that's kind of self-explanatory from my perspective of that. So I hand it over to you, Lavelle.
Mm-hmm. So this reminds me of another conversation I had today. The more I go deep inside and like sit back and become more objective, the more I sense a great poetry in everything. The chaos and all of the situations and circumstance and figureheads and people, especially from this position, especially as I sit in this particular seat as a Nubian, I see the irony in everything, but at the same time, I also cross-reference human experience in some of the themes that have been presented over time, linearly. And it tickles me a little bit that certain aspects of emotional aspects of the makeup within this vehicle, from this framework that we see as, as dark-skinned people, especially African Americans, there are karmic emotional experiences and lessons and things that are being unraveled.
Yeah.
One of the things I realize is that, and most of you already realize this, is that there's a very mysterious way in which we reveal things to ourselves to reveal the basis of who we are as people, like the basis of who we are as souls. One of the greatest lessons that we can experience as souls, especially within this climax of such a great cycle, is that unconditional love is at the foundation. It's like it's the master class.
Yeah.
Now, from this perspective, from this sense of being, we must realize that things are being presented that push very deep buttons within us as souls.
Yes.
Emotionally. And if we take a step back and we become a little teeny bit more objective, we'll realize that it's something very strange about all this stuff that's being presented. It's just that when we realize that everything has, like, we're talking about things that we wrote on the walls many generations before about what's happening now.
All right now.
Okay. Yeah.
And being that that's the case, once again, trusting ourselves and being able to realize the illusions and the foundation of unconditional love and acceptance, and what does it mean to be an old soul? The older soul is able to see ignorance and overcompensation and understand the bigger picture, the moral of the story, the acceptance. And they say royalty must wash feet first before they wear the crown.
Amen. 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 Come on, brother.
I mean, listen, the gifts.
How many feet have you washed, Lavelle? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The gifts are there. The beauty is there. It's just that it's almost as if we're playing a trick on ourselves to see if we take the easiest bait.
Exactly.
Are we going to take the bait and feed into the division? Are we able to see the bigger picture? Are we able to step outside of all the obstacles and trickery and mind games which involve emotional manipulation? Being that amongst us, we have a deep sense of fire and we have a strong emotional center or space of being. Are we being pulled into this emotional turmoil, which causes us to lack clarity on what's truly taking place, on what all this stuff means? Are we being emotionally manipulated by the program, by the platforms?
But I mean, the answer to that is yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Because here again, I'll say creator, observer, participant. We're the triad. We're our own triad in one. We created it. Yeah. How do we create it? Because when you go inside, when you get your chakras aligned up and go inside and realize who the creator is, where did we come from? How on earth did we get here? Different things that you should ask yourself, have been asking yourself all along. Well, who can we blame? Who can we blame for the coronavirus or that thing? Who can we blame for Trump being in office? Part of our collective voted for him, part of it didn't, you know? But here again, I'll go and say everything has to balance. Everything. What looks bad, on the other hand, may be an advantage or good for the planet, The planet itself is alive. She is a live entity.
She is.
And right now, she is purging herself because of the great galactical alignment, which we're going to get into that shortly as well, anyway, as we near the end of December of this year for the solstice. A great cardinal alignment is going to be lining up, but we're nearing, I think Master Yeshua, Jesus talked about it in the Bible and said that I will be with the end of the age. What is he talking about?
The end of
Say
the age.
the end of the world. The world is not going to end. It's going to still be here. But all of the chaos and confusion that has been prophesied, you're just seeing that massive clearing, and the massive clearing, all that junk came from our polluted consciousness, our polluted stuff.
Oh my goodness.
That we've done in thousands of incarnations. Look, Lavelle's bubbling. I got to let him spit it out. Go ahead, Lavelle.
Oh my God, yes, because I'm bubbling over here too.
And Jamie is too. Jamie is too.
So yeah, well, they say usually the greatest blessings always present themselves in disguise. And beyond the specifics of the narrative, we also have to realize that the sun has not stopped increasing in frequency. And with that, we must realize that we are increasingly being given or reestablishing our manifestation abilities. So once beyond the outside spectrum, we always have to look in the mirror once again, because we're responsible for what we're creating, the energy that we're feeding, the narrative that we're telling ourselves. Regardless of what story you tell, what timeline you tell yourself this stuff is about, you're right. And everyone is. Everyone is absolutely right. It's just that you are telling yourself the narrative that you feel is the truth. However, wisdom knows that we did not come 26,000 years to deceive ourselves into more enslavement, into more war. That's what we've experienced for the last 13,000. And we've already told this story about what this time is about. It's just that the choice remains, love or fear. Do we feel like we're being deceived and we're being led down this path that is not intelligent and is more ignorant? Or do we trust that who we are as the creator is presenting ourselves with a blessing in disguise, where we truly trust what's taking place beyond what we perceive, beyond the obvious answer, beyond what the media is being presented? Just like you said before, lady, the media has never been on our side. The governmental structure, from as far as we could tell, has never been pro-life. It's always been anti-life. Now, how do we feel about what this is? Do we trust ourselves? Are we going to a dead end and is time over? Are we objective enough to see the information beyond the emotional presentation? Because once again, emotional manipulation, especially when it comes to the American spectrum, is the easiest target because we have such deep wounds emotionally. So the reactions and responses are extremely predictable based on what's being presented. These souls, or this platform, knows that rage and fear and outrage and disgust and blatancy are responses, are going to be responses in fear. They're going to be fearful responses, and of course, that's where confusion comes in. It's the easiest bait. But once again, this is where we become confused, because we get sucked into the emotional aspect, and it's an intense time for all of us because there's a clear divide. And I mean, once again, I've never been a political person myself. It's just that it's so apparent. And then the actions and the things that are being shown, like they're showing people that look like me being shot on 6 o'clock news to everybody, like live on TV. What's going on? What are you attempting to show me? What are you attempting to, like, are you really trying to scare me? What narrative are you feeding me? Are you attempting to get everybody or get me to feel victimized? Like, are you programming me to fear right now? What narrative are you showing me? And then once we get to the basis of that, then we could go behind the scenes and recognize the nature of an MK Ultra and the trickery, the mind games that are being played to us as citizens. And once again, from that space, there's a deeper insight to what's really taking place. And then we can look at the information and stop being strung along based on emotional narratives. We can look at the facts, the documentation. Don't tell me about how you feel about this person. What is this person doing? What's on document? What's being documented? We live in an age of information where those who reveal what's taking place amongst humanity, all the secrets, all this stuff is being revealed for all. And there is no bias when it comes to what's being expressed on WikiLeaks or documentation or what's being revealed out there for humanity. It's basically an attempt of transparency.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is coming out. It's just that being objective is what's going to allow us to establish a sense of clarity and see beyond the game. It's a lot to process, but once again, taking a step back and going within the self has always been the basis of clarity. And this is something that we all have to do during such a time.
And then maybe we need to speak on that, going inside it within yourself.
Kind of what I say is going to go into that. Because what can you hear me all right?
I can now.
I kind of went out for a minute. What keeps coming to me, and it's almost like, that's right. The whole time Lavelle was speaking, because what's being and I say this on purpose. I'm saying this on purpose. As a practicing Christian witch, the first rule is to know thyself. And that's the first rule of any student of the mysteries, the Hermetics. That was the first rule, is to know thyself. So to know thyself is not to just know the good parts of you. It's also to know the shadow part of you, the not so good part of you. So with the macrocosm and the microcosm, what's being revealed to us is the shadow. They named it shadow for a reason. The shadow side of what's going on planet Earth is being revealed, because we have to clean that up before we can move to the next stage. Yes. It has to be cleaned up.
Exactly. Well, that's what's occurring.
Exactly. So that's
why it's an essential process.
Yes. So even with myself,
of course.
Go ahead, Umi.
Oh no, I thought you were still talking. Because my deal is kind of going in and out here. No, I was saying that was the purpose of Jesus, the Christ came. His purpose was to raise the consciousness of people. And then once again, that was a particular time when he was then, you can say 6,000 years ago. That time is upon us now. We're having a great galactical shift again. The huge shift started in 2012, and then the massive one is taking place now, and it's around December the 21st at the end of this year. But it will still continue to go on and on and on. the human race will move up into a different of existence, vibration. Everything is about vibrational frequency. You must your vibrational frequency. Do whatever it takes. Read a lot. Change your diet. Do your own whatever chance you have to do to raise your vibrational frequency. And certainly the whole planet will change because you're part of the planet and you're much more than what you even think you are. So I agree, Katina. There's lots of work that has to be done and everything, and we're right in the middle of actually doing that. Of everything. Oh, we have another. Jamie, did you want to chime in on that or say a little bit about the Christ consciousness?
Yeah, I had spoke about that. Can you hear me? I had spoken about the Christ consciousness earlier, but that's what we're moving into. And as you were saying about Yeshua Jesus, he actually came and showed that example of how to be that, to walk that and to be that. And so as that example, that's what we're moving into now.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
And we're also mentioning
and everybody
about
is going to change a different level. Huh?
We were talking about going within.
We have we have a comment by Chris Enlightened. He says it's hard to explain what occurs outside of our earthly domain. The answer given is reflection of your level of understanding. So that kind of ties in with going into yourself. Yourself is truly all about. So that was that was kind of good. I think Lavelle opened a whole new platform of talking about the inner self, and you know, even as the different races vibrate at different speeds, you know, that could be a whole nother show within itself. But it's not really about a race thing right now. Everybody this trying to reach a certain level of vibrational frequency, and we all going in different directions. No matter what the color of your skin is, we're just going in a lot of different directions to get all the way up the same ladder, you know.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's climbing Jacob's ladder. Jamie and I had a conversation about that the other day. What is Jacob's ladder? Your chakra system. You have actually, and I've talked about this before, axonal lines on the top of your head that connects you with many, many galaxies. You have a galaxy on the top of your head, and it vibrates to connect you with different receive these downloads of information. So I guess since we don't have any other questions, I'm not sure what the audience is looking like. My system is just going. I'm not sure if they're even able to type in the questions and whatnot. So we're gonna just keep going. And I wanted to discuss some things that has happened in 2020. Some events that happened in 2020, and it was any of these things ever prophesied? Some of the things that I can mention are not so pleasant. The attack on Iran, the impeachment trial for President Trump, Kobe Bryant's passing away. There are several earthquakes on the other side of the planet that destroyed a lot of people's lives. The UK left the European goods. I had a sister call me all the way from Australia crying, saying, please pray for my family. Everything is underwater over here. The virus itself struck and put the planet in almost a complete shutdown. Wall Street, the Wall Street failed and the banks were severely threatened. the Summer Olympics were canceled this year, which that's never happened before. Global disclosure that are here, describing our Star family, riots in America, Black Lives Matter incident, all of this stuff, violence, looting, protests, things of that nature. What do you think is happening? Yes, there's a great shift occurring. It's shaking of the tree, separating the sheep from the goat, if you want to go there. So I'd like for you all to kind of expound on that. Were there any of this stuff prophesied? And if so, what's next as we go further into the 2020, nearing the end?
We have a question in the chat also.
That's a lot.
We have a question in the chat also.
Okay, read the question before we, I guess, because we don't want to get too far off. Our purpose is to answer our clients and stuff.
Okay, so the question comes from the Enlightened Journey, and it states, okay, how important is connecting with your ancestors while in your spiritual path? What ways do you connect and give back to your transition ancestors?
Great question, Chris. Thank you. How important it is connecting with your ancestors while you're on the spiritual path. You can actually connect with them. You're already connected with them, to be honest with you. And you may not even be spiritually awakened yet. You know, you're always going to be connected because that's where you came from. It's important on the spiritual path because you can actually, they're actually guiding you indirectly, and you have to let them know, hey, I hear you, I see your signs, and I acknowledge, that I'm still here, and I'm going to try to make the vibrational light frequency of my ancestral lineage brighter, so that pulls all of you through.
Yeah. I think it's very important. Actually, we don't utilize our resources. There are angels out there waiting. They're all sitting around, hanging out. Well, I wish they asked us to do something. Your ancestors out there hanging out. I wish they would ask for help. They're available to you to help you in this process, but you're not asking for help. Talk to them. They're here. The veil is thinning. The veil is thinned, and so it's more easier than ever now.
It goes back to the fear program. We've been taught to be scared of that. They're ghosts. Where did all of that stuff come from? Those are old programming, 3-dimensional programming. It's the program of fear, of control. If you step outside the box and say certain things, you're crazy. All of those things, the boogeyman in the closet, these sort of things. So a lot of that stuff was fear-based. And in order to shift out of that, you're going to have to raise your vibrational frequency by, you can listen to solfeggio tones. You can, I've done several things before to raise it's tons of information on YouTube and on the internet that teaches you how to do that. So if Jamie or Lavelle wants to comment on that particular question, feel free to do so.
I'll comment on that. I personally, from my experience, I feel like we are our ancestors. That's what I feel and what I actually have been shown. The beings that I connect with are higher octave beings, are in the angelic realms. But as far as the ancestors, I believe in the reincarnation cycle, and we really are those ancestors here in incarnation until we actually ascend. And that's what how I see it. And that's what I'm taught.
I believe that wholeheartedly also. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter. Well, she's 5 now. And when she was 3, she straight out told me she was my mom. I mean, this is coming out of a 3-year-old's mouth. She's like, because you were in my stomach, and then it was in my mom's stomach, like straight out the mouth of babes, you know. So definitely, and yes, that's my mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, that did put a little bit of light on the subject. Thank you, Chris, for asking that question. It's very important that we connect back to our ancestors, while we're on the spiritual path, to give them that honor and that respect. And it's like Jamie said, we are actually those incarnated ancestors. We have all their DNA in our bodies. And so we're given a chance to move closer back towards source self, our God self, whereas maybe our parents or the ones that are on the other side, they didn't quite get a chance to do that, but we're so yeah. Lavelle, any comments, questions about that? I'm gonna get back to what we're moving toward in 2020.
I'll add, I appreciate the humility by us all and recognizing our ancestry and feeling the connection with deeper aspects of self as far as the methodology and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The grounding practices that we continue to do, the self-love practices, the solitude, the tranquility, the embrace of the peace within, which is deepening our connection with our intuition. And Jamie is absolutely correct. We are the souls who've incarnated in this dimension over and over and over and over again throughout all the cycles of time. As the souls who decided to be here on planet Earth, this is our saga. This is the climax of our saga. If we recognize that this lifetime is the amalgamation of all the lifetimes we've experienced as humans within the human body experience, we'll realize that it is through the stillness and the practices and this expansion, the higher self, if you will, which we connect with all the lifetimes that we've experienced. And yes, there are several different personalities, or a very, very large spectrum of different personalities and experiences that we've experienced while being here. And they come to assist us in being a manifestation of them all, an expression of them all from a grand spectrum in this lifetime. As far as what to expect, we can only expect more intensity, because once again, the sun has not stopped increasing in frequency. And we're talking about the ability to manifest more of our own energy every single day, more and more of our own projections. And once again, we're all being issued or given back the responsibility of experiencing our own energy, or the creation or co-creation of our own reality. So those who are continue to project destruction and continue to give energy to drama and separation will continue to experience that. And those of us who are objective and balanced and grounded enough to see beyond that will continue to experience our own expansion and evolution and grace, acceptance, empathy, and compassion. Will continue to experience that abundance and joy based on what we're doing with the energy that's being allocated to us now. So this is what we can expect. But once again, it's going to get more intense before it gets better. You have to throw up before you feel better. And that's the nature of what's taking place right now.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, wow. Yep.
What's been coming to me this whole life is that you have to do the work. Umi and I, we have a story, because when we first met, like I did not know her at all. I met her in a Facebook group, in a Facebook group. It was a small group, and we met, and she was having a retreat at her house in Georgia, And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to the retreat. And I drove not knowing anyone to her house.
She didn't
And that
know.
was
She
like
didn't even know me. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know her. And we set up talking all night like 16-year-olds.
All night.
And
Very much like
it was
me and Jamie's gonna do.
amazing. Yeah. It was an amazing experience. But one thing we used to always chuckle about is one of the master teachers in our group used to always say, y'all gotta do the work. And we would howl with laughter. What work? What work? You know,
What are you
but
talking
now
about?
we understand that you have to do the work. And the work that you have to do is the work on yourself.
On yourself.
And the one thing that every soul on this planet, you agreed to come and serve humanity. Whatever your gift is, whatever it is that you offer humanity, you need to be on that job every day.
Taking
Every day.
responsibility. Absolutely.
Yeah. Be on that job every day. That's what you can do to help raise the consciousness of this planet, so we can get on to where we need to be. And maybe we can get through these birthing pains, you know, a little easier. So yeah, do the work on yourself. Go within. Ask consciousness, what is it? If you don't know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, ask consciousness. Ask your higher self. Your soul knows. Have you ever asked?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you ask for a sign, the sign will be provided. That's a universal law.
That's crucial. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Recognizing the signs. Do the work to learn how to recognize the signs. Stop being so doggone lazy. You know? I mean, I can, you know, I've been lazy before too. All of us been there and done that, you know, but it's a saying that if you take one step, the gods and the goddesses and the heavens above will give you two. They'll show you. One more question from Holly. Do you guys also see this as an upgrade of our DNA? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's every spoken word. Words are powerful. Words have vibrations. Be careful about the usage of your words. But when you hear certain words, they are going to automatically raise you. When you're around certain people, whether you are vibrating at that frequency or not, you're gonna get an upgrade. When you listen to certain music, you're gonna get a download, an upgrade. Keep yourself around high vibrational people. Eat high vibrational foods and whatnot. I remember I before I started actually ascending, I was eating all kind of junk and everything. You know, I still eat a little bit of junk now, but then I was really bad. And then I got to where I tapered my diet off. I got really, really good. And I actually started monitoring myself and taking pictures of myself as I did my sun mantras and meditations. And I actually took a picture where I'm actually encircled in my rainbow DNA and didn't know that's what I had done. But a lot of work went into that, you know? How do you get DNA upgrades? I'm going to present that to the panel, and then we're going to have to kind of close out. It's nearing about 9 o'clock. So how do we get DNA upgrades? You know, how do we, I'm going to just put that out there to the panel now to discuss real quick.
One thing I know about receiving the DNA upgrades is being open to receiving. There's a lot of energies coming in from the higher octaves or the great central sun. Being open to receive those energies in. But other ways is to ground, you know, through meditation, through taking in the sunlight, balancing the chakras.
That's work.
That's the work that you have to do.
The work.
Giving decrees, all those things that you were talking about, speaking to your cells and organs in your body, all of that are ways to just increase the DNA.
Yeah.
Stand outside, talk to the sun. Y'all ever seen anybody standing outside looking up at the sun and talking to it? Well, if you look at some of my old videos, you'll probably see me doing that. You know, Because
we were taking pictures, videos, we was doing everything, weren't we?
we were doing everything. Me and Katina were driving up down the road. We stopped the car in the middle of the road and say, "Oh wow, look at that sun. Let's do that."
Right, right. Yeah.
I mean, we actually stood on top of mountains and called out to the ancestors. We took crystals and we've thrown them over into the water to bless the water. Those types of activities raises your DNA. It upgrades you. Any little bitty thing you think don't matter, it does matter. Everything matters. So don't think, and that's usually part of my closing out statement, is don't think that that whatever you do does not matter. Everyone has a part. You have to decide what part you want to do. Take responsibility for your creation. You created us masters that's sitting on this platform. You were the one that decided you wanted to go on Facebook and chime into 5D frequency and what's next. You created that. So we are actually many yous. We're part of your consciousness. We're a part of each other's consciousness. So whenever you can come to the realization and take responsibility, that within itself changes your DNA. I've sat up and watched Todd shoot straight up through the roof, having another guest on his show. If you observe when Todd Medina has his shows and he talks to these various guests, they really have him thinking. And then he really has them thinking. He's like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, wow, I just got a serious upgrade. So it's helping each other. It doesn't matter if you're purple, pink, blue, green, yellow. I don't care. We're all a part of that consciousness. And, we're just, like I say, at different levels of vibrational frequency. Second thing, never give up. Don't feel like you don't have nothing to contribute. You do. Say a good word. Help an old lady across the street and tell her thank you. Get up on Sundays and go cook some banana pudding and go pass it out. Fix a pan of cornbread. Y'all know how to do it. Don't put all that fat back in it. But I mean, I'm just saying, fix some cornbread, put a little butter in there, and you making going on and serve a little cup of coffee with it. Somebody out down the street be glad to get that cornbread and coffee. Right? All right. And then you light a candle and pray for yourself. Do your ceremonies over yourself. Invite purity in. Invite the beautiful purple and violet flames of Saint Germain and all of the beautiful rays of light that come in and just start to purify you just like right away. Just ask, and it's right there. You have it. You already have the keys of life, the keys to the kingdom within yourself. You already have Christ within yourself. He said, know ye not that ye are all gods and children of the Most High. You see, so you already got that divine connection. We already have it. We forgot who we were and what we came here to do. And then lastly, take a walk in nature. Get some sun, like Jamie says. Hug a tree. The trees are connected directly to Mother Earth. Their roots go way down into the center of the earth. So, I mean, if I hug a tree, I'm going to get some of that energy from that sun that's inside the planet. If you stand there and you hold it long enough, you will get a serious charge through your Kundalini. And I'm not talking about, something like out there trying to, be sexual and all of that stuff. It does feel good, but it's a different kind of opening that opens up your Kundalini and let the energy flow all the way up through the crown chakra and connect with the great central sun. That's called aligning your suns. You will align your suns, and then you start to receive a lot of information from the angelic beings. I got a book last week. I don't know what book came from, but I was on a serious spiritual path looking for something, and boom, the book was in my mailbox. No return address, no nothing on it. But man, you talking about a powerful book. I'm like, okay, keep sending them,
Thank
you. Yes, sir. So anyway, I want to thank my platform guest, our poor baby Lavelle, it's 1:30, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I think we need to let our friend lay down and get him some rest. So I want to honor I want to honor Lavelle because he is such a dear. He helped me with the show about 2 or 3 shows ago and everything. And he's going to be a regular. Tina's going to be my regular co-host every other show or whatever. And then I'm going to try to nudge Jamie into doing it. I think she would make a great, this is a powerful, powerful sister. Y'all have no idea. All of us on the panel there with you. We're here to love you and to guide you. If you could just inbox us or friend request us on Facebook, we're happy to assist you in any kind of way possible. Keep the questions coming in. Even after we close the show out, the questions coming in, and we'll try to get those questions answered for you. Our next show will be, I want to say, September the 19th. And the guests at that time, we'll have 4 or 5 other guests on that particular, and that's going to be a really powerful show as well. So if we didn't get your questions answered this time, just come on 2 weeks. It's every 2 weeks. Todd has given us an opportunity to do this every 2 weeks. So I'm going to try to get as much information in as I possibly can in assisting with raising the planet. This is part of my mission. This is part of Jimmy's mission. This is part of Lavelle's mission. This is part of Katina's mission, Lady Ninhursag. I'm sorry, Katina. This is part of all of our mission, is to give you the information that you need to move you into that next phase, because as you move, we move. All right. And until then, we will see you all on, I believe the next date will be September the 16th. And have a pleasant afternoon. Thank you all, my panel guests, for coming. And we bid you all a most high vibrational evening. Thank you for watching.